Shalom. I want to start off by giving our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who do rule well and teach His truth in all honesty and sincerity. Salutations to you brothers around the four corners of the earth that push this truth in all sincerity and great diligence as well. Brother Azar from the GMS St. Louis coming with another video. This one is gonna be on the Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. Still have people out here, and a lot of people in my family still say, or a few people, we were the Egyptians and, we were the pharaohs and all this, and, we aren't the same as the Egyptians. The Egyptians fought against us, had us in captivity. And the problem is that people just don't believe the record. They don't believe the record that was left by their forefathers because they've been, led away through these false teachers, these doctrines of devils and their own madness, they want to believe everything but the truth. But without further ado, I'll just grab scriptures, and let the word speak. First, I'm gonna go to the book of 1 John chapter 5, and I'll start at verse 7. And it reads, "For there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. And these three are one," meaning they're in agreements. They're in agreements. Verse 8, "And there are three that bear witness in earth, the Spirit, and the water, and the blood. And these three agree in one. If we receive the witness of men, the witness of Yahweh is greater, which he hath testified of his Son. He that believeth on the Son of Yahweh hath the witness in himself. He that believeth not Yahweh hath made him a liar, because he believeth not the record that Yahweh gave of his Son." And, it vexes me, to just see how much disbelief comes out of the people that the Lord loves so much, that he would even make a way for them to come back to him. Because there was a point where hundreds of years went by where the Lord wasn't speaking to Israel. But he sent his Son to redeem back his people because he loved them. Out of all the families of the earth, out of all the nations of the earth, he chose Israel to be his people. He put his name on us. But our people they want to be everything but who the Lord called them to be, man. Anyway, you making the Lord a liar, man. By trying to go against the scriptures, man. Not adhering to the word. People are saying, "Oh, go get this book and go get that book." This is the record, man. The Lord left his record, his laws, his statutes, his commandments. How the Lord is in order, man. He's a just power. So how is he going to judge people? People always talking about only God can judge me, only God can judge me, this and that, all that. But a wise man, the scripture said, wise man judge everything by the Spirit. And furthermore, if the Lord only can judge you, what is he going to judge you based off of? the record that he left for you to follow. I got told to go read the Book of the Dead and the Dead Sea Scrolls and this and that, and it's fucking bullshit. Excuse my French. And I'm getting tired of this shit, man. Like, this place is so vexing. These people are so vexing, man. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 12. I'll start at verse 10. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words or words of delight. These preachers don't be telling the truth, man. They just want to comfort you, man. You know, and a job of a preacher, minister, a prophet, whatever, is to say the truth, man. Say the truth. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. The words of the wise are as goads, and as nails fastened by the master of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. And furthermore, by these, my son, be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. It tells you in verse 12 to, be admonished of making many books, man. Like, people could write all these books, and people always doubting the word of the Lord, which is true. But they'll tell you to go and get these books and this and that, which were, I don't believe in the Bible was written by men. Go get this book right here, which was also written by a man. The only difference is the men in these scriptures were given the inspiration to write these down. You go to school and pick up a book and crack it open and believe everything that's in it. But when it comes to the word of the Lord, especially Jake, man, he got it backwards. He's so confused. And they don't want to hear the whole matter, man. They don't want to hear everything, the whole history. You can't get Jake to pay attention for 2 fucking minutes, man. What about this? What about that? What about, hear the fucking whole matter first, man. Hear, listen. Like, this is the age of information, and it's no excuse to be dumb, man, about anything, man. Scripture tell you, be ye not ignorant of roughly paraphrasing, small things or great things. Small matters are great or great. There's no excuse, man. It's constant truth getting pushed out via the web, man. While I'm here, I'll get a few scriptures in Exodus. Because if we are the Egyptians, why would they be fighting against us? Now you did have an instance, where Joseph, was like a top man among Israel, a man among the Egyptians. Like he was a top guy, under Pharaoh. And he had authority and power. But he was, make no mistake about it, he was not an Egyptian. He was an Israelite living amongst the Egyptians. And at one point, a lot of Israel was living amongst the Egyptians and dwelling with them and you know, partaking in their customs, which is you know, against um the against God. We're not supposed to be doing the things and joining ourselves unto the heathens and taking part in their customs after their gods. Um, I'll get Exodus. Back in the beginning, man. This is Exodus chapter 1, and starting at verse I start at verse 5. And it reads, and all the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob, which his name was changed to Israel, which makes his descendants the Israelites. All of the souls that came out of the loins of Jacob were 70 souls, for Joseph was in Egypt already. His brothers sold him, you know, into captivity under the Egyptians. And Joseph died, and all his brethren, and all the generation, and the children of Israel were fruitful, and increased abundantly, and multiplied, and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. So Joseph was cool with one king, and then another king came into power that didn't feel the same way about Joseph and his people, which were the Israelites, man. Verse 9, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass, and when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies, and fight against us, and go and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities from Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew, and they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the same as today, Israel, the Latinos, the Native Americans, the so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans, so-called Negroes. When we were in captivity, we grew, man. Cause our people have sex, man. They multiply, man. Our people have children in their teens, man. You know, and that was spoken the word of the Lord to Abraham about his descendants. I will make you you know, roughly paraphrasing, your people an unnumerable number. He told them they were going to go into captivity. He told them all the things about them. What were going to befall his seed line, his bloodline. You know, when you read and get into these scriptures, you can actually picture and see how we are these people. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage. And that word Egypt means bondage. Its Greek word means bondage. In mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. And their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor, And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other was Puah. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. And it's the same way today, how these Esau, so-called white man, in his kingdom, which is modeled after Babylon, which is modeled after Egypt, modeled after Rome. Don't they have it set up to where the children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites, the children of Israel have their babies killed? They have abortion clinics set up everywhere. It's the same thing, man. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. And that's because they could take them as wives and bring their own bloodline, their own nationality, their own nation into the world, because the woman does not carry on a bloodline. She brings life forth for whatever seed that a man plants in her. That's where the saying comes from. You are what your father is. And the scriptures tell you in the book of Numbers, they declared their pedigree after the house of their father. That means what your father is what your nationality goes according to. What your father and his father and his father, that's what it goes off of. So that's the reason why they wanted to kill the male children. Because if it's more males being born, then they can reproduce and reproduce and reproduce. But if they kept the women alive, then the women could bring forth Egyptian babies. The correct term would be Mizraim. And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? Because back then our women was worth something, man. Our women had integrity, they had morals, and they knew that she was wrong, man. But today our people jacked all up, and they won't hesitate to take a plan B or to go to the abortion clinic. Supplant hella dudes out of money for abortion, and I ain't even pregnant. But that's another topic, We are not Egyptians, man. We were there in captivity, the same way we here through captivity in America, the same way we was in Rome in captivity. It's so hard for these blockheads to understand that. They say history repeats itself. Okay, so why is it so hard to believe that we in a captivity in America, the same as we was in the captivity in Egypt, Rome, Greek, Assyria, Babylon? Because we did not stick to the blueprint that the Most High gave us, man, which are the law, statutes, and commandments. I'll jump to the 14th chapter. This is Exodus, the 14th chapter, starting at verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, which they are a people before their place. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. So all the people that come out of Jacob are called the children of Israel because they are the children of Jacob. And that means he is a prince of the power, or he's a prince of God. We belong to the Most High, man. All throughout the scriptures, you hear children of Israel, children of Israel. This is going to happen to the children of Israel. And when you look at the curses, that's our condition right now to this day. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. If you read that chapter and still walk away thinking that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are not those people, you a damn fool, man. The Lord don't want you to get it, man. He wants to destroy you, man. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel that they turn and encamp before Pihahiroth, between Migdal and the sea, over against Baal Zephon, before it shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness hath shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them. And I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Lord. And they did so. So the Lord had it to where Pharaoh's heart was hardened to come against the children of Israel, so that his might can be shown, so his strength could be shown, and his honor could be known throughout the land. You niggas want to be Egyptians so bad, man. Like, it's a damn shame. If you have ancestry that goes back to the transatlantic slave trade, and your people was brought over here in slavery, the fuck are you talking about you an Egyptian for, man? Like, so what? Yeah, we went into captivity because of what we did as a people. Keep going off, worshiping all these false gods when we got the most supreme power in the universe behind us. But you want to be Egyptians, worshiping dumbass fucking idols and statues and fucking bullshit, man, that ain't even alive. But that's the hard-headedness of Israel, man. These scriptures, it got you down to the T, man, even in your fucking folly, even in the bullshit that you involved in, man. It's talk about it. Like people want to be so pro-Africa and this and that. What tribe you from in Africa? Because Africa is a whole bunch of different countries, whole bunch of different tribes. During the transatlantic slave trade, there was a buyer and a seller. When in history has any people sold their own people into slavery? That's just not how it went, man. People never sold their own people into slavery. They sold other people. Hamites, the so-called Africans, sold Israelites, so-called Negroes, into slavery, man. Why do you think that them damn Africans, when they come over here, they got animosity toward us? If we was people, then don't you think they would have sent somebody? Don't you think they would have fucking... Why did the king of one of them African countries or whatever, them Hamite nations, why did he get up in front of the press and on national TV apologizing for what his ancestors did to the Israelites? Because they know the history, man. They know the truth, and they know that judgment is coming, man. They got to pay for what they did. So now it's time to be all, we sorry, and nah, man, fuck that. And all you niggas that want to fucking call yourself this, the Lord ain't coming back to get no fucking Africans, man. The Lord not coming back to get no fucking Egyptians, man. He coming back to get his people, the Hebrew Israelites, man. And only a remnant at that. But motherfuckers don't, excuse me, these blockheads don't believe. So you know, you don't believe the record, but you know, how is it that everybody knows, all right, it's a bad thing to murder people, stealing is wrong, this and that is wrong, you know, don't have, you know, sex with different people in your family, but you don't believe the rest of the record, man. They don't believe the relationship advice, they don't believe nothing else. But this is what set the tone, the laws that the Most High gave us as a people. And the rest of the world used to look at us as what to be like, what to do. They could not touch us as a nation when we was following the Lord, man, and obeying his commandments. They couldn't do nothing. So that's why Esau, the devil done sold that into you niggas' heads that you Egyptians. So you can discard the record of your fucking people, man. It pisses me off, man. Man. Oh shit, where was I at? 14, yeah. Verse 5. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this? That we have let Israel go from serving us. And he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captains over every one of them. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with their high hand. But the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them, encamping them by the seaside, beside Pahahiroth, before Baal-zephon. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid. And the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord, and they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? And that's the same spirit that our people got today. Leave us alone. We don't want to hear that shit. We want to keep serving Esau. We want to keep being under this white man's rule, so-called white man's rule. We like it here in captivity. We like eating pork. We like seeing all these fucking abominable ass men and women walking around being perverse, man. We like it here. We like being morally free to do all the fucked up shit we want to. It's the same people, man. Fucking niggas talking about the Egyptian and we was this and we was that. For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. No faith. Just don't. They didn't believe back then. Them is the same 2/3 that was always nagging, complaining, and trying to find a way back to captivity, man. And now it's not a hardcore bondage slavery. It's a mental slavery. They got you in the mind thinking that you a whole nother person or a group of people than what you are. These niggas still ain't figured out that whatever the so-called white man is pushing and allowing you to join yourself to and boast in and brag, and he'll aid you and help you do that, he's sending you off, man. But when you come with the truth, it makes it uncomfortable for him because you expose all his lies. So he's gonna combat that. He goes against the word of the Lord, man. So how is people talking about, oh, that's the white man's book? We need to be in the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Book of the Dead and the shit dead, man. His ways are strictly against the word of God, man. So how is this his book? But look at so-called Latinos, Native Americans, and Negroes, man. We do a lot of the stuff that's in these scriptures naturally. We don't even know. We don't pop out women on their period. We don't even like being around them like that on their period. We don't eat our meat bloody. You know, certain animals we don't eat. You know, we believe in disciplining our children like the scriptures tell you. And that's just to name a few, man. People crazy as hell, man. You know, even down to the hymns that we used to sing. And during captivity, they wanted us to sing songs. Swing low, sweet chair. That was talking about these so-called UFOs that these people are seeing now. That was our help. That was the angels that came and guided us when we was in the wilderness, man. See, the so-called white man, he knows the truth. That's how he could tell the perfect lies, man. All to keep Israel from knowing that they Israel. Psalms 183. In verse 3, I believe. Come, let us cut Israel off so that they be a nation no more. In remembrance. That's what they done. But the Lord always leaves a remnant to bear his name, man. And through the remnant, all of Israel will be saved, whether they have to die on this side and be reborn back into the kingdom. But all of Israel gonna be back in aligned with the Most High, man. This is Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So, get yourself next to an Egyptian. Go and dwell with an Egyptian for a week. And you're going to see that we don't do the same shit. You know, Jake got liveliness to him, man. These other nations be dry as fuck, man. You know, excuse my French. These other nations be dried up, man. Look at Elam, the so-called East Indian, man. He looked dead in the face, man. You know, they don't dance like us. They don't move like us. You know, these other dark-skinned nations. And that's where people get it twisted. They think because everybody's dark-skinned or people are dark-skinned that they the same people. And that's not true. You have different dark races that are not the same people. The Hamites and the Israelites are just, you know, they kind of favor each other. They come out of Ham, Noah's one son. We come out of Shem, Noah's other son. And yes, technically it's family, but the Lord put a difference between them. That's a nation. That's a nation. And Japheth, that's a whole nother nation. Anywho, um, I'll get a little more. Let me see. Um, go to the book of First Timothy, chapter 4. And chapter 4 and verse 15. Meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. You know, in all things, man. You'll be able to see how the Lord is working with you and how the Spirit is dealing with you. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine. Continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. And Great Millstone, along with you know, a few other camps that push the sound doctrine, are out here, you know, calling out to the elect, man, and only the elect are gonna hear it and it's gonna resonate with them. They're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel it that it's the truth, man. And that's gonna be a small number, man. Billions of people on the earth, and the Lord said, 144,000, and that's 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, man. Proving that the Lord don't love everybody, man. 12,000 from each tribe. It's 12 tribes. Jacob had 12 sons, which that makes up the 12 tribes of Israel. The Lord told Abraham his seed would be an innumerable amount as the sands of the sea. Tell me who can go out and number just on one beach all the little sand granulates out on the beach. You can't. That's how the nation of Israel was going to be. So big that each son became his own nation within a nation. And a book of Numbers gives you the beginning counts of how many it was in each tribe, man. But I'm getting a little bit off topic. Um, Jump over to 2 Timothy, chapter 3. And verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh. And that's the name of the Heavenly Father, his son, Yahweh Shai. And is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness, that the man of Yahweh may be perfect throughout, thoroughly furnished unto good works. Like I said, this is what the Lord is going to judge based off of his word, man. It'll be silly, people talking about, oh, only God can judge me, but what is he going to judge you off of? His word. Like the scriptures say, you can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Even scoffers, you got your part in it. You unbelievers, you got your part in it. You devils and you dang on wizards and warlocks, and everybody got their part. It's all here, man. So by your unbelief, you don't make it not true by not believing, which is in the book of 2 Ezra. You know, roughly paraphrasing, shall their unbelief, or don't let the incredulity of those that do not believe. Matter of fact, let me find it because I don't even want to. I think it's 15 or 16. Bear with me. This is 2 Ezra, chapter 15. And it reads, verse 1, Behold, speak thou in the ear of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper. It was written on scrolls, and we always were people that kept records. Always. Scrolls, and King James, which was an Israelite, had it put in a book, combined in a book. And despite all the negative things they try to put on him, he wanted the word to be for the common man, the everyday Israelite man. He knew that it was for Israelites, man, because for a time it was only in Latin for the aristocrats, and he wanted it to be in the poor man's hand. So he transliterated it into a book, and over 42 scholars helped him transliterate the Bible into a book, man, from out of the Latin, Greek and Hebrew, into the 1611 version, man, King James Bible. For they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, man. Behold, said the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, said the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more, as touching their wickedness which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. The Lord's not dealing with you if you're not complaining and sighing and crying about the abominations that's done in this place, man. In the world, for that matter. Like, man, hey, and as you see, the Lord is sending plagues, death, disease, famine, floods. All these disasters are from His hand, man. And you can go in Second Ezra's, um um in the Apocrypha, and read that chapter 15, 16. It's deep, man. But back on topic, we are not Egyptians, and you guys don't believe the record, man. That's on you, man. You heard it, man. You heard it. You wave your hand. You said forget that. All this. So the blood is off the hands of the men of the Lord, man. It's off our hands, man. We did what we were supposed to do. Lord willing that we are those men. We told you. And that's another sign that we Israel, because our people don't listen for shit. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, and verse 8. The grass withereth, the flower fadeth, but the word of our power shall stand forever. Even unto this day, you heard people always talking about, oh, that was in the Bible days. Oh, in the Bible days. Oh, back in the Bible days. Times changed and this and that. The Lord is the same as yesterday, today, and forever, man. So we still are in the Bible times. We still are in the Bible times. Prophecy still coming. It's still prophecies that have to be fulfilled, that haven't been fulfilled yet. So we still are in the Bible days. Jump to the New Testament, book of John. Yeah, chapter 6. And verse 63. It is the spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profited nothing. And quickeneth means to, be alive, or come alive. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life. But there are some of you that believe not. For Yahushua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray him. And he said, therefore I unto you that no man come unto me except it were given unto him by my Father. So these guys, man, these guys that don't believe, man, you wasn't chosen anyway, man. You wasn't you wasn't in on it from the beginning, man. You wasn't a friend of Yahweh Shai. From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him. Then said Yahweh Shai unto the 12, Will ye go also away? Will ye also go away? Then Simon Peter answered him, Lord, to whom shall we go? Thou hast the word of eternal life. Something that you niggas don't believe in. You know, that you think that it's just gonna forever be live and die, and that's it. You just in the grave rotting, and you know, ain't nothing else after that, man. You know, that when the kingdom come, man, the Israelites will have uncorruptible bodies, man. Spiritual bodies, man. Indestructible. But you know, you that's too far fetched, you know. In y'all mind, that's too much for Yahweh to do, man. But you niggas, man, hey, you ain't got it, man. You lost, man. And don't want to adhere to sound doctrine. And we believe and are sure that thou art that Mashiach, the son of the living power. Yahweh Shai answered them, Have not I chosen you 12, and one of you is a devil? He spake of Judas Iscariot, the son of Simon, for he it was that should betray him, being one of the 12. You know, but the point was at 64. But there are some of you that believe not. For Yahushua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not, and who should betray him. Man, a lot of you put the Lord to open shame, man. Like you're gonna have a low hanging head, man, in the kingdom, man, knowing just how much of a nigga you was, man. Talking about Egyptians, man. Claiming every group except the one that you belong to. But you know, I gotta end it off with this in Genesis. No, Salakia. Deuteronomy, I'm sorry. Deuteronomy, and I'm gonna go to the 28th chapter. You know, you can't read this and man, if the Lord ain't dealing with you, I guess. But this explains our exact condition as a whole people, man. I'm gonna start at Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. And it reads, And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. See, this is a contract. This is what the covenant was. The contract between the Lord and the Israelites, man. Between Yahweh and the Israelites. If you shall hearken to the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all the earth, all the nations of the earth. And that we were at a point in time, several points in time. We were the ruling race on the earth. Nobody was messing with us. King David, was a king of Israel. Samuel, Solomon, these other nations was under us. And as you see, we not like that anymore. And when you jump down to the 15th verse, it says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command